take my 1 or 2 trades a day. That's the only time I'll look at the chart, right? And then I have the rest of the day to chase my wife around the house naked when the kids at school, and then at nighttime do my journal,
Woo!
do some other stuff, because at the end of the day, right? I want a life where I don't spend 12 to 14 hours working for the man. I want a life. Some powerful comments there, and it's not the original conversation that we usually have up here. Like the process, right? The process should be goal oriented, the life you want to live. I'm a prime example of that. Like, for example, like I get asked constantly by my colleagues. So we work in the investment banking field, and when they're chasing clients and going to the bar with them, I'm going home, right? When we talk about what we did the night before, I'm telling them how I did back testing this and I listened to DR that, and I went through all that, and they're like, dude, why are you sticking around retail, right? We're in investment banking. That's because our goals, my colleagues' goals, they just got out of whichever Ivy League school they came out of, and their goals for 5 years from now is to work a hedge fund, right? Right now we're at the sell side of the organization, and their process is to find the connections, find the networks to sink a job in the hedge fund. My goal 5 years from now is to do exactly what I'm doing in between the 12 hours of work a day I do, right? So like wake up 5:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, back test, go through my preparation drills. If it's a Tuesday, look at all the Tuesday charts that I have on file, think about what price did on Tuesdays, whatever. Go through my little checklist, my mental checklist, you know, take my 1 or 2 trades a day during select times where that's the only time I'll look at the chart, right? And then I have the rest of the day to chase my wife around the house naked when the kids at school, and then at nighttime do my journal,
Woo!
do some other stuff, because at the end of the day, right? I want a life where I don't spend 12 to 14 hours working for the man. I want a life where, like I don't have to live in fear of being shot or whatever, right? Like that's one reason I got out of the military and retired, right? Came into investment banking. The only reason I did that was to build up enough capital. And honestly, it's for me and my walk, it makes more sense to get free return through a 9 to 5, right? Because they pay pretty good, and I can achieve that goal a lot faster than to try to like bare knuckle fight the markets every day, right? So once I hit that goal, right, and that's part of my process. So every day, like I do the typical investment banking role, I do margin and collateral for the repo and the fixed income space, but that 12 hours that I spend at the bank, like that is going to get replaced. But the process that I'm going to do towards my 5 year goal, right, of trading full time and just calling it quits and just doing whatever I want, like that's the process I'm seeking now, right? And that's one thing I'll tell you guys, especially for the people who work for a living. Listen, like you are going down this journey, and it's going to be harder for you than the people who don't work, right? But don't let that stop you from building the process and getting the repetition in right now, right? Because that's valuable time that you're going to be spending and that you're going to be grateful that you did. So when you finally pull the trigger and you say, you know what, I'm just going to trade for a living, like you already went through the process. Don't wait until you say, hey, I'm going to trade for a living. Now let me go back test this model 1,000 times. Let me figure out what kind of steps I need to make, what my day to day looks like. Let me figure out the A to B. Like if this happens wrong that I didn't project, like you don't have to figure that out when you're under the gun, right? You can do that right now. Open up a separate account. Pretend like you're trading for a living with limited time, right? And for me, having a background in statistics, everything is about expectations. Everything, right? I want to know what to expect so I can build that playbook. And my process is no different than that, you know? And like for me, like, what's up, Master?
No, no, I didn't want to interrupt you. I just wanted to tell Kit that I accidentally kicked the speaker before because I was trying to get his profile up and I think I removed him accidentally. So Kit made.
No, I'm here.
No, no, I
I'm here.
removed the speaker before Mikey, because I was
Focus.
trying to get on his profile and accidentally removed him.
Oh, you fat fingered it.
Yes, so to.
I do, dude. I understand that. I've done that too. Well, Twitter's undefeated, so if it wasn't you, it could have been Twitter. So, I
It
think that's
really
a
is.
fair statement. It could have been random. But
Let
yeah,
me finish. Let me
go
finish
ahead,
it
bro.
off with this. Let me finish it off with this, though. Everybody out there, don't rush to failure. Set your process up for success, right? And I see this a lot in the Twitter space, especially, right? You guys are just taking trades. You aren't going through a process. You might learn the theory, but you haven't got past the phase of testing the theory and then, doing execution drills and then trading the theory, right? Like, set yourself up in a position where you can go through that process where you don't have the stress of having to do it for a living. Because I've been in the markets for 12 years now, right? Trading, doing everything, right? And I've seen a lot of retail people come and go because number one, they weren't open minded to improve themselves. They got behind one version of themselves and they stayed there until that version burned out real quick and they didn't have the proper mindset. Number two, they set themselves up and their process up for failure from the get go. So make sure whatever you're doing, make yourself a process that envisions the goals of where you want to be 5 years from now. And that doesn't just mean a goal, a trading goal, right? Like I know 5 years from now, I want to take trades, right? I know I want to take one trade between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. I want to take one trade between 10:45 and 11 o'clock. And I want to spend this much time in 5 years allotted to backtest. I want to spend this much time analyzing data, and then the rest of the day is mine to achieve whatever I want to, right? And I'll leave it with that. Thanks for having me, Kit. Sorry, Kit called me earlier today, and I had Bloomberg terminal going off. Goldman Sachs being just on my bad side, and sorry about the negativity that I had on the phone earlier, bud.
No, dude, it's all good.
Yeah,
I've got I think it's version. I think we're on like 197 of the
yeah.
time matrix, and I'm excited to backtest
That's a good.
this
That's a
new
good example.
iteration.
Right? That's a good example. I don't mean to cut you off now. Shut my mouth. I promise. Like one of my buddies, one of my colleagues, he was like, "Why are you on, like DR Lens? Why are you using metrics? We have Bloomberg, dude. You have everything at your fingertips." And I'm like, because in 5 years from now, I don't plan on having a Bloomberg and have to hear this annoying ass beep go off every 2 seconds. I plan on doing it with Lens and M7 Matrix, right? And if you guys don't know M7 Matrix, boy, you are missing out. It's the best. And I'm going to do a video on why I like it. It's the best backtest and journaling trade tracking tool I've ever dealt with. It's the easiest. It allows me to chart book by day of the week of the month. Like it lets me capture and visualize the data, and it's making my morning process so much faster. So, Master, firsthand, thank you. I don't get paid by him. I'm not any of that shit. I call a product, a spade when I see it. Master, thank you for creating that. And that's all I got.
Thank you so much, Mickey. Well, we created it for the students to help them to get into a better process. So I'm very happy. But yeah, I do agree it's a fine tool. And who knows, maybe this will be free for everyone soon. Who knows? Not only students. Keep your eyes peeled.